But this fundamental understanding of human behavior is very important for marketing people, salespeople, anybody who wants to grow a business. I am completely with you that direct marketing does work. Other marketing methods work too. So what you're pointing out that direct marketing did work for you, and you use direct marketing as well as your network. So I understand this aspect of your business. Now, when you were selling your consulting engagements, the large enterprise level, software-driven, things, the engagements that were eventually going to be at least $100,000+, where you were dealing with perhaps vice presidents or maybe director level individuals. With them, did it grow with the network, word of mouth, or did you ever get into situations where you did not know anybody, you went there, and you were able to secure a deal?
So I think it was very difficult to not know anyone and actually go out and actually get on the RFP list to get an RFP. Once you get an RFP, I mean, even for winning it, you have to have the level of trust. And it's fundamentally the kind of work that we do. It's basically, if a pharmaceutical company hires us to, to do the computation of actually how much their sales reps need to get paid, and they have 5,000 reps, and they need to get paid every month, they can't afford to basically go with someone who they can't trust, so to speak, right? Because, I mean, just imagine, if you're a sales rep and one day you get a check which is, $300,000, the other day you actually look through this thing and you don't get a check because the competition said you didn't earn any thing. So it's very, or whether it's actually from a VP of sales perspective, and they basically get one chance to launch a product, and the whole strategy of how they're going to launch the product really depends upon the analysis that we do, the consulting that we provide. So that's very fundamental to the core business of the pharmaceutical industry. So I think so having the level of trust in our business, at least in a niche vertical business, has always been very important. Where we have gone around, where we didn't know anyone, a top 10 pharmaceutical company, we don't do any business with them, we have never done business with them, we want to go and get in there, then what we do is that we actually, again, we use direct marketing, mostly webinars. Again, it's a very small industry, you need to have a high quality contact, inviting people for, some thought leadership, some innovative topic to talk about to basically get to know them. We spend quite a bit of effort and money into events to go out and actually be where the customers are, where they can perceive you as innovator, as a thought leader, and doing that, and actually in a way create leads, and then basically go from there. And then every lead that we get is so precious that we actually put, one would argue, we probably over-invest in actually going out and meeting, bringing in some of the most senior people in our organization, for even going out and meeting someone which is a long shot. Because the key is that, in a market which is highly competitive, you want to make sure that you convert every lead into something. Given the track record that we have and the confidence that we have in our own business, which I'm sure every entrepreneur does, we feel that if a customer just begins the relationship with us, it will grow. So the classic thing a lot of people talk about is penetrate and radiate, and it's more true for our business than I've ever seen for anyone else. If we can penetrate with even $150,000 engagement, which is very small for the kind of work that we do, then we will radiate. We will convert customers to, couple of $1 million a year recurring.
Essentially, you are highly focused. When you recognize that there is interest, you put in all the effort to make sure that the conversion rate is very, very high for your group as a whole. You're not using marketing to generate the thought leadership in the minds of your prospect, where, you haven't come across in any other way, they don't know you from anywhere, and you met with this person, for example. Have you had conversions from there as well? Let's say you met someone in a conference and they don't know you from the wazoo. What happens then? What happened in those situations?
Yeah, so we've actually had a lot of success with events and conferences. And obviously there are lots of conferences like every other industry, so you got to know where to go and, which are the right ones. There's a lot of not so useful conferences out there as well. So we have a formal kind of a tracking process where we basically within 72 hours of every conference, we need anyone who attends a conference has to basically reach out to all the people on the customer side that they have met. So they actually immediately understand that we appreciate meeting them and we'd like to follow up. So there's a kind of a standard operating procedure. Then how we develop our business, it's a combination of what we call our principles, which are consulting principles, as well as we have a few sales people whose job is for hunting. And we will actually pass on these leads and actually require them to actually log in their activity against those leads in the CRM system on an ongoing basis and make sure that actually we take it to a logical conclusion. A logical conclusion could be, I had a follow-up meeting, these are the interests, we talked about this, but they were interested in something else. Then the ticket remains open where you need to follow up and it maybe gets assigned to someone else. Other thing could be that a customer says, hey, right place, I'll put you on my RFP list and I'll send you a proposal, and that's a good outcome. And the third outcome, which happens from time to time, is the customer says, look, thanks but no thanks. I already have, I'm all covered. It was good to meet you guys. If anything comes up, I'll call you in and we will actually close it. So the key is that, when you talk about marketing, follow-up is extremely, extremely important. So, for us, events has been a great channel for generating leads. It's very important to basically follow the process to take the leads to a logical conclusion, and that's the reason why our success rate in closing those leads has been so high.
I mean, you're an operations research person by training, so I'm sure that your processes are flawless, and yes, certainly processes in running a business contribute immensely to the success, long-term success, without any doubt. So, are there any stories, horror stories, when you went to a client meeting, things went out of whack, and this is how you dealt with them? That one of your key stories that you have in your internal training?
Yeah, I have a lot of good stories.
Okay, well, hear a good story then.
Yeah, I mean, there are lots of good stories in terms of, we have no history with the customer. We go in there and we basically make them think about something that they hadn't even thought about. So creating not only just, winning opportunities, but actually creating opportunities. I've had my own fair share of not so good stories where you go in and, for whatever reason, whether it's a disconnect in customers' expectations or, we had a weak project manager on the projects haven't gone as per customers' expectations, and, you get your fair share of beating up by the customer. And then, those are not so very pleasant stories. So I think I've had my own fair share of both good and bad stories.
So do you follow a sales process or a structured approach to selling once you're at the client side for the first meeting?
So I personally have my own kind of a style. I do a lot of prep work for every meeting. Actually, my goal is that when I walk into the meeting, we will overwhelm them with our knowledge, not necessarily content. That doesn't mean that you basically, you talk for 70 minutes in our conversation. But you will overwhelm them with your knowledge, the knowledge of their business, their situation. So spend a lot of time prepping up for even a 1-hour meeting with a customer. So that's a process that is basically before the meeting, and there's no substitute for that.